The film begins with Viru's gang going to Dimpy's father. Ajay, Viru's brother, says to him, "Where is your daughter, old man?" He replies, "My daughter has been gone for the past 3 days." The officer tells him, "Do you know who is asking for your daughter? The king of Mumbai, Viru. He has the complete power of money, influence, and policemen, so don't get yourself involved in a story with him. It's better for you to tell us where your daughter is." The father says, "Believe me, I don't know." Ajay tells him, "Your daughter is very lucky that my brother chose and loved her. Send her to him and he will give you all the money you want." Then they leave him and go. Dimpy is hiding at their neighbor's house. Her father tells her, "Listen to me carefully, my daughter. You told me before that you love a good person. Does he love you as you love him?" She answers, "More than you, father." He tells her, "Run away with him and go to any state far away from us." She listens to his words and calls her beloved, Satya. He asks her, "Where are you? You've been missing." She tells him, "I'm waiting for you at your house." He goes to her and she tells him everything that happened. He says to her, "Since there's someone bothering you, why didn't you tell me before? Come with me and show me where he is." She tells him, "Don't do it. This is no ordinary person." He replies, "He saw you, but he hasn't seen me yet." She tells him, "If I wanted you to go to him, I would have told you from the beginning. Please, let's get married and leave this country and go away." He agrees with her. Meanwhile, one of Viru's men informs his boss, "Boss, we've discovered that Dimpy loves someone else, and they are getting married and running away together." Indeed, they go to get married, but Viru and his men attack them. Viru gets out of the car, and Satya is furious, but Dimpy calms him down. Viru tells his men, "Get her from him." Satya takes her and runs away. His men chase him and surround him from every direction. Do you think this will affect him? I swear it won't. He breaks through their ranks and plays with them one by one, and whoever takes a hit from him doesn't get up again. Stay in your beast mode. He finishes them all off, but he turns around and finds that Dimpy has disappeared from his side. The scoundrels muffled her voice, but the sense of love was stronger than them. He puts his hand into the wall and breaks one of their heads. And what a surprise! I totally believe that. He takes out 2 of them while the rest flee. He takes Dimpy and they are about to travel, but Viru goes to her mother and father and asks them, "Where is your daughter?" The father tells him, "Do what you want. It's impossible for me to tell you my daughter's location." One of Viru's men sees them at the bus station and calls his boss, saying, "I found them, boss." Viru then hangs the father in front of his wife, then slaughters her, and tells the officer, "What you will write in the report is as follows. The man suspected his wife, whom he loved, so he killed her and then committed suicide." And he sends other men to stop the bus carrying Dimpy and Satya. They stop the bus and surround it with cars from all directions. Then they storm it. But the beast Satya rises to face them and beats them until he breaks their bones. But suddenly, Deva raises a weapon at Dimpy. Satya screams, "No, please, please let her go." But the son of a devil with no mercy in his heart slaughters her before his eyes. Ajay runs towards him and kills him too. And before they die, their tears flood the bus floor. Ajay says to Deva, "Set the bus on fire so no trace of the crime remains." And indeed, they set the bus on fire. The next day, the police, fire trucks, and ambulances arrive at the scene, and luckily, they find Satya still alive. And what a surprise! I believe he survived after being stabbed and burned. It seems he has the spirit of a cat. They quickly take him to the hospital, but half of his face is destroyed. They summon the great doctor, Shailaja, and she performs the required scans. Her assistants tell her half of his face is completely destroyed, and he received 24 stabs, and the strange thing is, he's still alive. She tells them, because he wants to live, he has the drive to fight death. Don't be surprised, my friend. Death in India is optional. If someone has something important to do, they don't die. And if there's nothing important, they die very simply. Anyway, she tells them, "I will do the impossible for this case to live." The surgeries begin, and after 3 seconds, they are all successful. Satya has a nightmare about what happened to his beloved before his eyes. He wakes up and starts smashing everything around him. The doctor enters to calm him down and tells him, "For my sake, calm down. This is not your life. I have given you the life of someone very important to me." And indeed, he calms down, and they begin to remove the bandages from his face. The operation is a success, and Shailaja tells the nurse, "Bring the mirror." She brings the mirror, and Satya looks at his face and is shocked to find the face of another person. The doctor tells him, "Calm down, you must accept your new look, and in 2 days I will tell you everything. I will leave you to rest now." She leaves him and goes. The next day, the nurse brings him food but finds that he has disappeared. Shailaja rushes in and finds he has left her a note that says, "Thank you." Satya leaves the hospital with nothing on his mind but the dogs who killed his wife before his eyes. He watches all their movements and gets as close to them as he wants with his new face. He goes to the apartment where he was supposed to live with the love of his life, only to find that someone has forcibly taken it over and is going to sell it. The man asks him, "Who are you?" He replies, "I'm Satya's friend. I'll stay here for 2 days, then leave." He enters a secret room and arranges pictures of the 4 and numbers them. He starts with the first one, Deva. He goes to him in the market to finish him off, but he finds a girl standing behind him saying, "I beg you, don't move. If that animal sees me, he'll kidnap me." He takes her in a tuk-tuk and asks her what happened. She tells him, "It was a dark day when I saw the so-called Viru. Of course, he is a very famous person. One day I saw him at the swimming pool and ran towards him and took a picture with him. And since then, he and his men haven't left me alone. Don't worry, I'm used to it, and I'll escape as I always do." He tells her, "Don't worry, stay with me and I'll get rid of them for you." They sit together and Deva's men see them. Satya goes out to them and asks, "Is there something?" They say, "We are Deva's men. What makes you sit with this girl?" He says, "Really? But what makes me believe you are really Deva's men? Let me call him to believe it." He calls him and gives him the phone. He asks, "Are you Deva?" He replies, "Yes, I am Deva." Satya says, "Liar. Besides, your voice sounds like a sheep's." "No, you can't be Deva. If you were really Deva, meet me tomorrow at Singh's cafe." And indeed, the next day, Deva goes to the place. Deva calls him and says, "I've arrived at the place." Satya says, "Are you a fool? Does everyone who calls Deva, Deva goes to him? No, you are not Deva." And he leaves him and goes. Deva comes down like a raging bull and runs after him. Satya keeps luring him until he gets him to the place he wants. He appears before him and hits him in the face with a blow from which he doesn't get up again, and sends a message to Viru about the death of the first of his 3 men. Deva wakes up to find himself tied up and surrounded by an electric circuit that not even the Minister of Energy himself could create. Satya connects the circuit to the electricity and goes to him saying, "Who are you and what do you intend to do?" He replies, 10 months ago, there was a bus heading to Hyderabad, and on board were 2 passengers, Dimpy and Satya." He asks him, "Yes, and who are you?" He replies, "I am Satya." Deva can barely process the shock before Satya presses the button and says to him, "Does it hurt? You must drink from the same cup you made people drink from." He presses the button and lets the electricity play with him. Then he leaves. The police arrive at the scene, but Satya has not left any evidence behind. He begins to plan for his second victim, the officer. He goes to him at the police station and says, "How are you, sir? I have a small problem. My fiancée has been missing for 10 days, and I don't know where she went," and gives him Dimpy's picture. The officer is shocked, takes the picture, and goes to call Viru. He tells him, 10 months ago, we killed a girl named Dimpy and her lover on the bus. Remember them?" Viru asks him, "What about them?" He replies, "Someone came to me saying that this Dimpy has been missing from him for 10 days. Viru tells him, "How is that? Detain him until I get there." The officer rushes back to him, but finds he has left. He goes out and finds him in front of him on his motorcycle. Then he leaves him and goes. The officer chases him until they enter a residential complex. After 3 hours, the police arrive to find the officer hanged in the place. The investigating officer says, "How did this happen among all these people? One of you must have seen what happened." A man from the crowd raises his hand, and it is Satya. The officer takes him to the station and says, "Tell me now, what happened in front of you?" He begins to tell the story. After the officer followed him into the complex, Satya ran upstairs. The officer followed him up in the elevator, and as soon as the door opened, he found him in his face. He beat him until he broke all his bones. The officer pulled out his weapon, but Satya twisted his hand to the other side and made him shoot himself. He wrapped the rope around his neck and said, "I am Satya. I wish you a happy death," then threw him from above. He finishes his words to the officer, who asks him, Okay, who is this person? Can you describe his features? He replies, certainly, sir. He brings the sketch artist and makes him describe the features, and his old face appears. The officer says, strange, you described his face as if you've known him for years. He replies, I focused on him when I read what was in his eyes, sir. It seems he has killed and will kill many more. He leaves him and goes. The officer goes to Viru and tells him, strange, this is the second person you know who has died. Viru replies, no, I don't know him. The officer says, strange, even though he took a picture with you. Viru sees the picture and is shocked because it has the number 2 on it. He says, it's normal, sir. I'm famous, and many people like to take pictures with me. He tells him, well, anyway, we know what the criminal looks like. He shows him the picture, and as soon as he sees it, he remembers who this person is, and his facial expression changes completely. The officer asks him, it seems you know him too. He replies, no, I don't know him. He tells him, well, keep this picture with you. It seems you'll need it more than I will, and leaves him and goes. Viru tells his men, the dog named Satya is still alive. Bring him to me from under the ground. His men go to his apartment and take the person who was living with him. They break his bones but can't get any information from him. Viru tells them, then bring me the person who described Satya to the inspector. They get his number from his roommate and call him. He goes to them with full confidence. Viru asks him, did you see this person while he was killing the officer? He replies, yes, I saw him. He asks, and did he say anything to him before he died? He answers, he said he will see the fear in your eyes as soon as you see him. Viru tells him, listen, I want this person at any cost. If you see him anywhere, inform me immediately. He replies, you don't need me to inform you because his next victim will be you. He asks, what do you mean? He answers, this is what he told the officer before he killed him. He leaves him and goes. He starts planning for his brother, Ajay, and keeps following him until he befriends him and makes him fall in love with Shruti, whom Viru already loves and is looking for. As he is leaving the place, one of Ajay's men tells him, here is the girl your brother Viru loves and is looking for. Ajay is shocked and rushes to Satya and says, the girl I love turns out my brother also loves. He asks him, and what's the problem with that? He replies, if he finds out, he might kill me. He tells him, and what will make your brother know? You keep completely silent, and in the evening, I will give you the solution. He tells him, you are truly my friend, and leaves him and goes. Satya calls Viru and says, I am one of Deva's men. The girl you love, your brother loves her too. He tells him, are you crazy? He replies, you don't believe me? I'll send you their pictures right now. He sends him the pictures, and he is shocked. When Ajay returns home, Viru tells him, one of Deva's men called me and said that you know Shruti. He replies, this person is definitely lying to you. He leaves him and goes up to his room. At night, Ajay goes to the bar and gets very drunk. Satya asks him, why all this? Are you that afraid of your brother? He replies, and what do you know about my brother? Satya tells him, I wish I were in your place, man. I would have known how to deal with him well. He asks him, and if you were in my place, what would you do? He replies, I would kill him. Ajay says, what? He responds, you heard me. How long will you remain under his control? If you kill him, you'll gain a lot. You'll take all his wealth and position, and you will become the big boss, and everyone will have to respect you. Add to all that, you will have the love of your life, Shruti, all to yourself. He likes the idea and rushes home to carry it out. He enters his brother's room and finds him sleeping on his bed. So he empties the pistol into him. But Viru is not on the bed. Ajay is shocked when he sees him and says, forgive me, I'm sorry. Viru tells him, if you had told me you wanted this girl, I would have left her for you and 1,000 others. But to kill me for one girl, that is what you deserve to die for. He calls his men and tells them, take him and finish him off. And he tells their leader, listen, take him to a faraway place and turn off your phone. My heart might soften and I might change my mind. He replies, your command, sir. He leaves him and goes. Viru sits down and suddenly glimpses an envelope in front of him with the number 3 written on it. He picks up the envelope and finds a picture of his brother with an X mark on it. His phone rings and the caller is Satya. He says, how are you, sir? I'm Deva's assistant. Remember me? I'm the one who called you a little while ago and warned you that your brother Ajay was going to kill you. Viru asks him, what's new? He replies, you are very foolish. Is it possible that with all this you still haven't understood? I'm telling you, Deva's assistant. Actually, I was lying to you. I am the one who killed Deva, and I am the one who killed the officer. I am Satya, who is taking down your men one by one, and the last one was your brother. I'm the one who introduced the girl you want to him and made him love her, brainwashed him, and convinced him to kill you. Then I called you to warn you about him so you would kill him yourself.
Viru is shocked and rushes to his men before they kill his brother. He arrives there, but in the final moments, his brother dies before his eyes. Satya calls him and says, "Have you ever experienced the feeling of someone dear to your heart dying before your eyes while you are helpless and can't do anything? What do you think of this feeling?" He tells him, "If you were a man, come and face me." He replies, "Only you are left. Of course I will come to you." They agree on a place, and Viru takes his men and goes there. Satya stands in front of him, and Viru doesn't recognize him. Viru distributes Satya's old pictures to his men, including Satya himself, and tells them, "Find him for me. He is in this place." They search the place for him, but he doesn't appear. He grabs Shruti and shouts, "Where are you, Satya? I know you are here among us. If you are afraid for her, show yourself now." He clears everyone out of the place and says, "Show yourself and face me if you can." Satya tells him, perhaps he left with the crowd. Viru tells his men, "Go out and find him quickly." Satya goes out with them and calls him, saying, "Let the girl go." Viru asks him, "Where are you?" He replies, "Look behind you." He looks behind him and sees the person he knows, Satya with his new face. He says, "Where are you? I can't see you." He replies, "I am in front of you, you blind man. I am Satya." Viru can barely process the shock before Satya unleashes the beast within him, beating him until he breaks his bones. He hangs him by his neck and says, "I wished you would live so I could torture you more than this, but my hands are burning and I can't be patient," and throws him down. "Don't worry, my friend, he's dead." He goes to Shruti and says to her, "I'm sorry for using you in my revenge against them." "No, you're supposed to kiss her and take her in your arms until she's happy." Anyway, she tells him, "It's nothing. You saved me and many other girls from his evil." He leaves her and goes, and finally, he has avenged the love of his life, Dimpy. While he is lost in his thoughts, someone stands in front of him, pulls out a gun, and is about to kill him, but the bullet hits the shoulder of a nearby beggar. Do you think Satya will let him go? I swear that won't happen. He chases him, but the dog hides from him. He calls Dharma in Hyderabad and tells him, "It's a disaster, boss. Charan is still alive and didn't die." Dharma is shocked and says, "How? It's impossible that he's alive." He replies, "I saw him with my own eyes, and here he is chasing me." He tells him, "Finish him off and bring his body with you." The man replies, "I've called the men, and they will be here shortly." He rushes out and finds that his men have arrived and surrounded Satya from all directions. Do you think this will affect him? Say it with me. I swear that won't happen. Yes, they are armed, but who are they dealing with? We have Satya. He unleashes a mix of martial arts on them and doesn't see any of them. Yes, they wound him a lot, but this also doesn't affect him. Indian heroes don't have human skin. They definitely have crocodile hide. Anyway, he finishes them off and continues his pursuit of their leader, but suddenly a car hits him. He runs towards him and asks, "Who are you and what do you want from me?" But he dies before he can answer. Satya stands bewildered, and suddenly he sees his reflection in a mirror in front of him and says, "Surely these people didn't come for me, but for this face in front of me." He thinks for a moment and remembers the doctor when she told him, "I have given you the life of someone very important to me." He calls her and introduces himself. She asks him, "Where are you?" She rushes to him and meets him. He tells her, "I don't understand anything. I no longer understand or know what is happening around me. A little while ago, thugs attacked me and wanted to kill me. Who is looking for this face you gave me? Tell me exactly, whose face is this?" She tells him, "This is my son's face, Charan." He stands shocked, and she continues, "He was no ordinary person. He never saw anyone in need of help without helping them. Even his college colleagues' hearts were strengthened by him." And she begins to tell her son's story. Flashback. Charan chases a student until he catches him and says, "You animal,
You gather your brothers and beat up my friend? Call your brothers and bring them to me right now." He calls them, and they bring their men and come. The young man runs to his brother and says, "This boy hit me." His brother says, "The hand that is raised against my brother must be cut off, but I might forgive you if my brother finishes his beating." Charon tells his brother, "Come and hit me." He tells him, "Go to him, don't be afraid." He replies, "But if I go to him, he will hit me." He tells him, "As long as we are here, he can't hit you." He goes to hit him and receives a beating left and right, and Charon breaks his hand. The rest of the men intervene, and he beats them one by one until he breaks the bones of their faces. He goes to their leader and says, "I heard you threatening me a little while ago." He replies, "Boss, you heard me wrong. I was telling my brother not to hit anyone else." He tells him, "You and him, come here, where are you going?" The other says, "Are you going to hit our leader too?" He slaps him with a slap from which he doesn't get up again. He tells them, "I beg you, let me take them to the hospital." He replies, "Okay." He returns to the person who hit his friend Bishu and says, "We are college colleagues. Why do you bring your brothers to scare your colleagues? We are all here to learn, not to bully each other. We are supposed to be brothers, one hand, right or not?" He replies, "Right." And he says to Bishu, "I'm sorry." Bishu accepts his apology. The next day, Charon prepares breakfast and says to his mother, "Wake up, Mom, you're late for the hospital. I made you breakfast. Come on, get up and give me my allowance." She goes down with him, and he and his colleagues have breakfast. Suddenly, his girlfriend, Manju, enters. His mother asks him, "Who is this boy?" The girl says, "I'm Manju." The mother says, "Aha, so this is the girl you always talk to and tell me you're talking to your friend." She gets sad and takes a side from him. He tells her, "It's okay, Mom, it's my fault." She says, "So that's how it is. You hide things from me?" He replies, "I was going to tell you, but she came and you found out everything. Do you know why I chose this girl? Because every time I look into her eyes, I remember you." She is very happy and takes her in her arms. Life was going well and was beautiful, but the good times don't last, my friend. There was Dharma, a tyrannical man who controlled any area and forcibly seized people's homes, building projects on their land for his own benefit. He had a disabled daughter whom he loved dearly. His brother, the minister, enters and says to him, "You are feeding your daughter and leaving the journalist who wrote an article that could incite people against us?" Dharma says to Boka, "Go to this journalist and kill him in the midst of all his people to be an example to others."
And indeed, Boka goes to the journalist's area, which is also Bishu's area, and kills the journalist in front of his family, friends, wife, and son, and none of them were able to save him from death. At that time, Charon comes to his friend Bishu and sees the journalist dying, and no one is taking him to the hospital. He runs towards him to take him, but Azad says to him, "No, my friend, don't you dare do that," and holds him back. Boka notices Charon's presence, but Bishu tells him, "Excuse me, this is my friend. He is not from here and doesn't know who you are or who sent you. Please forgive him, and I will make him leave here right now." The journalist dies, and his son runs towards him. After that, Charon can't stop thinking about what happened. Bishu goes to him and asks, "What's wrong with you?" He replies, "Is what happened in your area a normal thing? Do you let anyone from your community die just like that?" Azad tells him, "Do you know who ordered his killing? Dharma. And what do you know about Dharma? You poor thing. You don't know. If you knew, you wouldn't ask such a question. If you want to live and complete your life in peace, stay away from the beast called Dharma." Charon asks him, "What did you tell me you want to become in the future?" He replies, "A member of parliament." He tells him, "And how will you become a member when you don't feel the suffering of the people? I will not rest until I know what is happening there." He leaves them and goes. Then he goes to propose to Manju and spends the best 2 days with her. Boka returns to the area again, and the people gather around him. He says to Bishu's father, "Come here, you animal. Take these contracts and make every person in the area sign a waiver for their house and livelihood, and leave this area within a month." A man tells him, "My daughter is getting married next month. I wish you would postpone the matter a little." He replies, "And why should we postpone it? Send me your daughter and I'll fix her for you and return her. Does anyone else have a problem? I will be back in 2 days to take these signed contracts, and whoever objects, their fate will be death." He leaves them and goes. And indeed, they all start signing the contracts against their will. Bishu returns from college with his colleagues and asks his father, "What's the matter, father?" He replies, "Come and sign the waiver for the house here." He asks him
him, "Why? What happened?" He replies, "Boca was here, and we must leave the area within a month."
He says, "We'll leave our homes and go where? Will we be thrown in the street? You struggled so much and didn't dress like other people to raise me and get me into a respectable college and build this house for me. And in the end, we leave it so easily?" Charan tells him, "Why are you crying? Wipe away these tears, and we must all go to him." Bishu tells him, "If we go to him, he will kill us." Charan replies, "And do you think you are living like this? Wake up! Your fear itself is death." Azad tells him, "Calm down, my friend. This is not a college brawl. This is a man with no mercy in his heart." Charan replies, "So what? Isn't he a normal human? Or is he a bulletproof car?" Bishu's father tells him, "Listen to me, son. Your life is different from ours. You are from another class. Don't get yourself involved and drag us into a war that neither we nor you can handle." His son says, "But we can handle it, father. Even if he has 1,000 men, we are more than 4,000 men." His father slaps him and says to his mother, "Take your son, take care of him, and put him to bed." Then he says to Charan, "And you, son, go back to your house, turn on the air conditioner, and sleep." He leaves them and goes. Dharma brings a partner for his new project. While he is sitting with him, Bishu enters and says, "Boss, you ordered us to evacuate the area within a month. Well, these are 4,000 families. Tell me, where will we go after we leave our homes?" He replies, "Not my problem." He tells him, "But what you are doing is wrong." Dharma gets angry and kicks him, throwing him out. Bishu says, "I gathered my courage and came here today, and tomorrow the number will increase, and all the people of the area will attack you. Show me what you will do then." Dharma replies, "You have a point. If an opposing voice comes out from here, it will be an incentive for many others." And without mercy, he stabs him in the stomach with a sword and leaves him lying in front of his house, saying, "Let any man from your area come here and take your body." Charan goes to the area and finds they have prepared his shroud, but his friend's body is not there. Bishu's father tells him, "Did you see? This is the end of anyone who dares to challenge Dharma. Did you see what happened to your friend when he dared and went to his house? Look at his mother's state after him." Azad tells him, "Let's go, my friend. Don't get yourself involved." Charan screams, "Enough!" and goes to Dharma's house. He kicks the door and breaks it. Man, drywall is stronger than this door. Anyway, he enters and finds his friend drenched in his blood.
He bends down to carry him, but one of Dharma's men grabs his hand. He gives him a magical punch that destroys all his organs. He takes off his jacket and covers his friend with it, but Dharma's men surround him from all directions. Do you think this will affect him? I swear that won't happen. He beats them with all ferocity until he breaks their bones. But the scoundrels are too many. He grabs a metal rod and wraps an aluminum wire around it, and whoever gets hit by it, half of his face is destroyed. Stay on your game, Charan. He finishes them off and enters Dharma's place, saying, "From today, this area is under my protection. I wish to kill you now, but it won't do any good. I must first kill the people's fear of you, and then I will finish you." And he leaves him and goes. Dharma sends one of his men to kill him from behind, but Charan sees him and finishes him off, saying, "If you send 10 or 20 or 30 or 100 of your men, this will be the result." And he leaves him and goes. He takes his friend's body and returns it to his family. And of course, for them, honoring the dead is by burning them. He sets his friend on fire and throws the contracts they signed into the fire. The people feel safe and feel that the one who will save them from the dog named Dharma has finally come. But Dharma does not rest, and his main concern is to stop Charan. He goes to his mother at the hospital. His brother tells her, "You are a doctor and you have a lot of money. Why don't you keep your only son away from trouble and protect him? If he dies, you will live in this world alone." She says to Dharma, "What? Are you unable to bear my son's harm? When he was young, the teachers used to sit where you are now and complain to me about him. They would sit terrified that my son would see them with me, just as you are terrified now that my son will see you with me." He says to her, "And instead of making him sensible, you encourage him, you crazy woman?" She tells him, "Because they were disrespectful just like you. Look, I don't know what he told you, but I'd like you to know that what he says, he does, and no one can stop him." He says to her, "Don't forget that your husband is dead." She says, "Exactly, but before he died, he left me a lion to protect me and protect others from dogs like you." Dharma gets angry. She calls the nurse and tells her, "Give this thing a diarrhea pill because his blood pressure has risen." He leaves her and goes furious. Suddenly, Bishu's father calls Charan and says, "Help us, son. Dharma sent his men to kill us, and they will demolish our houses." He rushes to them, but Dharma calls him and says, "Are you going to save the poor people? Well, and who will save your mother?" He hangs up and calls his mother. One of Dharma's men answers and says, "Don't worry, we are with your mother. She is so stingy, she doesn't even want to make us tea." Charan hangs up and rushes home. Dharma calls him again and says, "Are you going to your mother and leaving Manju, the love of your heart?" He hangs up and calls Manju. Boka answers and says, "You have 5 minutes and I will kill her." Charan hangs up and is in utter confusion. If you were in his place, who would you save? Think fast, you have no time, my friend. Surely you chose your mother. But Charan does not choose his mother. He goes to Dharma's house and plays with his daughter. One of Dharma's men calls him and says, "Charan is playing with your daughter." And Boka is about to kill Manju, but Dharma calls him and says, "Let her go immediately and leave." And he calls his men who are with Shailaja and tells them, "Leave from where you are right now." And he calls his men in the area and tells them, "Leave the area immediately and go." And finally, he calls Charan, who says to him, "What? Have you kept your dogs away from my family? But believe me, this is a very bad thing for you when you send your men to the area and they return without removing a single brick from any house. Do you know what this means? This means you have become weak in front of them, and now if you go to the area, you won't find anyone who fears you." Dharma asks him, "And who has the guts to stand up to me?" He replies, "Come to the area and I'll show you." Dharma goes there and Charan goes to him and says, "Come on, show me which of these dogs has the courage to stand before me." He calls on the journalist's son and says, "Come, my dear, what do you feel when you see Dharma in front of you?" He replies, "I want to break his head with a rock." He tells him, "Excellent, you beast! You have courage that no man in the area has. In front of you is the person who killed one of you before your eyes, killed the second and didn't want to give you his body, and wants to take your homes, and you are afraid to approach him? He brings only 10 men to terrorize 4,000 men. Where is your courage? Where is your manhood? You are in the right. You are the owners of the land, and even if he brings 20,000 men, you will stand up to them, and even if you die, you will die with dignity, and that is better than living without it." Dharma applauds him and says, "Have you finished your lecture? Show me who was influenced by you, you failure." Bishu's father comes out and stands before him. Dharma tells him, "Will you trust him, you dog? Get away from me or I will kill you as I killed your son." The man screams, "Oh, you son of a devil!" and kicks him, knocking him to the ground. After that, the people attack them and break his bones and the bones of his men. Charan goes to him and says, "Did you see? Ants can gather and kill a snake like you? The fear I used to see in their eyes, I now see in your eyes. I will leave you terrified of them for a while. Get out of here." He leaves them and goes, and Bishu's father says, "Well done, son. Thanks to you, we were able to overcome them, and they are all extremely happy with their new hero, Charan." Finally, Charan marries Manju. Dharma is at his house, furious. One of his men tells him, Charan got married and decided to spend his honeymoon in Hyderabad. Dharma says, "This is our chance to get rid of him." And indeed, Charan is at the bus station with his colleagues and Manju. And in the same bus, who is riding, my friend? Satya and Dimpy. The bus moves, and on the way, Viru's men stop it, and Dharma's men surround it from all directions with cars. Charan tells his friend Azad, "Stay by Manju's side, I'll finish them off and be right back." But suddenly, he finds a knife plunged into his side. Oh, the betrayal of friends, my friend. His friend Azad is the one who stabbed him, and says to him, "Sorry, my friend, Dharma promised me a very high position, so your friendship has no value to me." Charan grabs him by the neck, but the rest of the men attack him. He breaks their bones one by one and goes down to face the rest below. And he, with 30 stab wounds, goes down to face another 300 men. Has this happened to him before? I swear, I've been bedridden for 2 days with a simple cold. Anyway, they are all armed. Do you think this will affect him? I swear that won't happen. He attacks them with brutality and courage and doesn't care about any of them. And look at this move, my friend. He he turns into a ferocious beast despite the many stab wounds in his stomach. His treacherous friend runs towards him to kill him, but he flips him on the ground and plants the sword, but not in his neck, and says to him, "We have a friendship, and I would never betray it." He finds a sword plunged into his back, turns to the person and finishes him off, then finds a spear plunged into his back. And through all this, he doesn't die. What's going on, man? This stitch is from Dharma. Charan turns to him and keeps laughing in his face, saying, "Like hyenas, you attack me from behind. Be a man and hit me face to face." Dharma is afraid of him, but he finds his treacherous friend plunging another knife into his back. Does anyone do this to their friend? You're the one with sewer water running through your veins, boy. Thank God this is the last stab, and Charan falls to the ground, dead. Dharma tells his men, "Send his body to his mother." They do as he says, and his mother is extremely sad for him. Dharma calls her and says, "The lion that was protecting you is dead, and your back is now exposed to me," as if she gave birth to a winter outfit to protect herself with. Anyway, she throws the phone on the ground, filled with grief. At that time, they call her from the hospital and inform her about Satya's condition, so she decides to give him her son's face to continue his life with. She finishes her story for Satya and tells him, "This is everything that happened. I wanted to tell you, but you ran away, and since then, I have been looking for you." He asks her, "And what happened after Charan's death?" She takes him to the area and tells him, "Go down and find out what happened for yourself." He gets out of the car, and everyone who sees him can't believe that Charan is still alive. The journalist's son goes to Bishu's father and tells him, "Look, Charan is still alive." Bishu's father rushes out, his feet cut off. He falls to the ground and crawls towards him. They stop him, and he says to him, "My heart felt that you were still alive," and takes him in his arms. He asks him, "What happened in my absence?" He replies, "Dharma cut off the feet with which I kicked him and returned with his men to take our homes. We brought the police to them, but they killed the officer. But don't worry, we are standing up to them, and none of them have been able to remove a single brick from any house." Suddenly, Dharma's men come and say to them, "Why are you all gathered like this? What, you animal man? Last time we killed the officer for you, so who did you bring this time to protect you?" They clear the way for them, and the beast Charan turns to them. They are shocked and flee from the place. Satya, or Charan, returns to the doctor. She says to him, "Did you find out what happened? That dog is still chasing them and wants their area. If Charan were still alive, he wouldn't have." He interrupts her saying, "Your son is still alive. He did not die, and that dog's end is near." He leaves her and goes, and monitors the movements of Azad, who has become a big figure in the country. Azad sees Charan and is terrified. Dharma kidnaps Shailaja and says to her, "I heard your son is still alive." She tells him, "Aren't you sure you killed him?" He replies, "But Azad says he is still alive." She tells him, "And why are you afraid?" He replies, "I'm not afraid." She says, "Liar, you are terrified from within just by hearing that he is still alive." He says, "Let him come. If he loves you, he will come before we finish you off." Azad says, "There he is. He has come outside." Dharma looks outside and finds Charan standing in front of him at the door, but this time he is not alone. Behind him are all the people of the area. They storm Dharma's men with all courage and break their bones, while he goes up to Dharma. Any man he meets, he turns him into Indian-style liver tagines. Dharma holds a knife to Shailaja and says, "Go back or else." But he doesn't go back. He keeps walking steadily. Suddenly, he finds a knife plunged into his side, and the stabber is Azad. He killed his friend in the same way. Azad says to Dharma, "Forgive me. Charan agreed with me that if I killed you, he would let me live, and more important than the position you gave me is to continue my life." He stabs him with a knife in his neck and says to Charan, "When I saw you, I knew I would die, but I will not die alone." He runs towards him with the sword. He moves away. Then he runs towards him again, making him kill his brother, the minister. He kicks them both, sending them down to the people of the area below. The people attack Dharma and beat him to a pulp. Then they move away from him. And don't worry, my friend, he died and took his evil with him. Shailaja says to Satya, "I have one last request for you. Manju, Charan's beloved, is devastated, and I'm afraid she will die after him. Please go and stay with her." And indeed, he goes to her. As she is walking, she feels his presence in the place. And here the film ends. And in the end, don't forget to show your support by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. By the way, there are exciting videos on the channel that you will like. And if you don't find your favorite movies, write the name of any movie you love in the comments. And goodbye, my friend.